Fourth time is the charm, everyone. Hello. I cannot believe I'm back either. But here we are. We're continuing like I said I would. Here we have another very wonderful guest today. If you would like to introduce yourself to everyone.
This is my introduction. But hey, this is Robert Jackson, or AKA Mystic Robert. You probably know me on my YouTube channel. I also do a podcast called Station Square, and I mainly do like a lot of some comic dubs here and there, but also working on original stuff for my channel. But you don't want to hear all that. You kind of want to just listen to the both of us ramble, just like I do on my own show. But yeah, it's really nice to be on the other side of the glass. Thank you so much for inviting me. This is really cool. Like I really like just when the script is flipped and I'm the one having to answer, the questions and all that, all the good jazz. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. I've yet to do that myself, but one day. I don't know. I'll see what happens. Um, do you want to is there anything more about yourself you'd just like to share before we get into it?
Yeah, I am based in the SoCal area, like LA, OC, like right in between. I just also wanted to say right now that summertime kind of came a little early for us because we have been getting a lot of like crazy heat waves. And I think like this last week in particular has kind of had like the most record breaking 90, 100-degree weather that we've had in March, period. So, I mean, usually it's like, when we get weather like this, it's usually happens like it wouldn't start really getting hot until like I don't know. It wouldn't start warming up until April or May or so on and so forth. But no, like this early in March is kind of a first. So, and I have a feeling it's probably not going to be the last. So, yeah, but as of right now, we're just in the midst of a really crazy time, here in the USA, but I know that everybody kind of is gone on about like, oh, all this stuff and issues that has been happening, in our country, but also just still trying to fight the AI, just all this technology and everything. But on top of that, yeah, just waking up every day, just feeling grateful and thankful that I'm still, here just doing this crazy, just kind of mic screaming, whatever, behind in my little cave, as I like to call it, my booth. Other than that, I think that's about like a lot of other fun trivia facts about me. I mean, I I'm a foodie, so I like to eat a lot. I guess that's another little fun fact about me. Um, and on top of that, just exercise, work out, just gotta keep your mind healthy and in shape. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that's it for me. I'm just gonna stop rambling now.
Oh, definitely, yeah, because you've got to keep your mind going. You can't just can't do this 24/7. That's not what voice actors do.
Exactly. No. Yeah. I mean, some of us could, which um, hats off to you if you can, but at the same time, definitely get water.
Mm,
Please take care of yourself. Seriously. You don't want to go through burnout like I did a few times. Not fine. So, just a little bit of some advice to kick us off for today.
yeah.
You're welcome.
Never experience burnout because it's one of the worst feelings you can get, especially when you want to get things done.
I know, right? Seriously.
It's awful. Um, okay, so we'll get into the nitty gritty a bit here. What made you want to voice act, really?
Okay, so very, very, very long story short. Like everybody else, I really loved watching cartoons, like, animation, like watching movies, and just pretty much grew up around a lot of media. So if there's like a new video game that was from Super Mario or Sonic or just anything that looks really fun and exciting, I'll probably play it, and then I would just start, doing the weird thing of mimicking the voices. Yeah, I know, just really original. So, yeah, just watching a lot of shows and learning more about the people that are behind the cartoons, like the characters that I grew up listening to. Like, oh my gosh, this person, they were in SpongeBob, but they were also on like Powerpuff Girls or Rocco and all of these other shows that I grew up watching. Um, and it really wasn't until I found this website called Newgrounds, and
Oh, we all know that.
I yeah, yeah, we're going yeah, that the real ones know where that's at. And this was actually back when like because I didn't really find out about this until years later that there actually was a voice acting forum called I mean it still is around Voice Acting Club, VAC, but this was around the time that they were still being called I mean, I'm sure that it was even still around back then, but the more common one was the Voice Acting Alliance, VAA. So that was kind of like around the time that they were sorta, reshuffling it, and it kinda is no longer, I mean, I won't say that it's completely dead, but it hasn't really been used for years and years and years. So that's why we got VAC now as like its own little forum. And one of the names that I would hear over and over and over again was Kira Buckland, who you probably now know as just this anime kind of like one of the rising stars of our industry right now. I mean, like, come on, she's in JoJo, which is insane. Playing Jolene, which honestly, to this day, I'm still just absolutely over the moon that it actually happened to her. So I just want to wish her congrats and just all the congrats that I could give to her. And I think if it wasn't for her and people like Sean Chiplock or Kimlin Tran, Ed Bosco, Devin Mack, and all these guys, I probably wouldn't have had a major interest on wanting to do voices for like I don't know YouTube stuff, animations, like indie stuff that I am right now. I think that was kind of like the catalyst jump, the sort of like the starting point of me wanting to do this. So I got myself a microphone in an untreated recording space around 2017, my old Blue Yeti mic. But even before that, I was using my computer and you could just hear that fan just in the background as I was doing the auditions on CCC. Fun times. But yeah, like fast forward like years later, here I am about to just once again creating projects and working with a lot of the people that I actually just grew up watching in a way like around a decade or so ago, just working with a lot of these guys now. It's just honestly so just weird to me that I'm actually getting to work with a lot of these people. So it's just really funny how it just kind of snowballs into like, hey, I grew up watching you on this on a Sonic short or like these Ego Raptor like animations where they're just parodying like video games and stuff, and now I'm getting to work with you guys on on an original series or just working with these people on an original project that we're all trying to create together. And some of them are on digital circuits, like working with Glitch and so on and so forth. So always support your indie. Always support the indie folks. You know what I'm saying? And let's just continue to keep animation alive. Um, so that's kind of my little complicated story. And I know I said that it's gonna be like to make a very long story short, but it still ended up being long anyways. Um, so take that as you will.
Sometimes the longest stories are the best, really. It just means you've got a lot to share.
I mean, you're not wrong. I
Also,
mean, where are the lies?
that's true. Yeah. I mean, also, I was going to say, because you mentioned Kira Buckland, and people often say things like, well, I'm just doing parodies or comic dubs and things like that. Well, she started doing those. I remember seeing a lot of the parody animations she was in, and massive anime voice actor now, so she's clearly moved forward, absolutely. I mean, you could start off doing the craziest voices you could think of, and you never know who can find that and say, oh, who's this? They've got a good range. And because people scout all the time, believe it or not, and they don't necessarily have to say to you, "I'm here, I'm listening to you." They'll just wait till the time is right, I suppose. But that's normally how it happens. It can just happen if you keep pushing for it. And that she's definitely proof of that, and I think most of them are as well. Who was it you mentioned? I would Sean Chiplock. Yeah, we've mentioned him before.
Yeah.
I would
Oh,
like to
yeah.
get him on at some point as well. I bet he's got a lot to say. And I
Oh,
have,
he sure does.
and I did actually meet him at a convention as well, and he gave me a hug. He seems really nice. He's lovely.
Yeah, he is such a really great guy, and that's kind of he's actually an example of somebody that I never imagined that I actually would be, legit working with until like literally last year with one of my projects. So, yeah, it just goes to show you that like, hey, if you I mean, it really is a small world. Like, if you meet a lot of these people, and just getting to form genuine friendships with, and sooner or later, like, getting to work with I guess one of the what do I call them? Like the spear runners of like the voice acting sphere of that whole world, and like from like the Aughties 2000s into the 2010s, and
Mm.
now here we are, 2026. It's kind of like a full circle moment, you know what I'm saying? And another person that I also wanted to shout out, it's Kagi Films, Sayu, goes by a lot of usernames, but Alejandro Saab. I mean, he also started off doing like these fan projects, and now he recently announced that he's in Digimon and now in a Sonic, like in an official Sonic, you know, not a video game, but like it's one of those like chaotic like animation shorts series that they're doing now,
Oh,
but
that
he's in an official Sega. Yeah, I'm
that
sorry.
podcast that they do, the Chaotix
Podcast,
podcast.
yeah,
Yeah.
an official Sega property. So he's another one where, start off doing like this content, and now here you are just in an official Sonic property. So I'm not saying this because, oh, just I'm so like you're so lucky. Like, that could be me. No, I'm genuinely am just super happy for him because he definitely loves, this as much as we do.
Mm.
So I really couldn't have asked for an even better, you know, somebody that I would want to see an official Sonic production than him. So good on him. For
Yeah.
real.
It's like, I know that's how they pick people. They just
Genuinely.
think this voice sounds right for this role, and they know exactly who they want. And that, they were who they exactly wanted, and that was very, very fortunate in some way. But at the same time, well deserved.
Exactly. And sometimes you don't really know what you want until you listen to an audition and it's like, okay, I, let me think about this. I think this sounds way better than what I had in my mind.
Mm.
Let's give them a shot and see where this goes. That's how it goes, like, a lot of the time because for a lot of auditions, you're like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna. And it's so funny where you have this one character that you're feeling really confident about, and then this one other one where you're like, that was okay. And that was the one you end up booking anyway.
Mm. That is,
It's just really funny how often it happens.
yeah, that is often how it works.
It is very often, yeah, more than you realize.
Yeah, because like you say, you're up against thousands of others, so to be picked out of one, you have to be the one that they want. So, which is why 90% of the time you won't book a job. It's very competitive. I just don't like to be competitive.
That's
I just don't like to be competitive. I don't like the idea of doing that because I think I mentioned this in a previous episode, but I just see us as all as like a community that just looks out for each other and congratulates each other's roles that we booked or successes that we've got. And it's the way we keep each other going. Just to say, someone's got your back, by the way. I know what you're going through. I know how hard it is. You got it, well deserved.
Yeah. Especially when you're in the professional setting, it can be very much like because you are auditioning. Like most of the job is auditioning, and you're going up against like hundreds, if not thousands, of people
Mm.
for a lot of jobs pretty much every day. So, something that I've learned very early on, it's like I know that there's a lot of jobs out there, but sometimes we're just not going to be the right fit for them.
Yeah, so
But that's
it's
okay.
so it's the idea of not taking it to heart if they say no, because you will hear no most of the time.
Exactly.
Yeah. It still feels a bit sometimes, especially if you don't book roles for a long time, it can get to you a little bit and you can feel a bit imposter syndrome sort of feeling. And you do feel behind, but it's like I was told once. You've all got your own story to tell, and you all go at your own pace and go up the ladder in your own way. And you're never truly behind anybody. You're just doing it your way, and I quite like the idea of that.
It's a very nice way of putting it. Probably
Yeah.
should start using it myself.
It does make you feel better if you think of it that way, especially if they tell you as well, because sometimes they very will happily say that to you if they notice that. Say, like, if you say, "Oh, I don't know if I can keep doing this, or if I'm any good, or if things like that," because sometimes you can lose that confidence, and sometimes other voice actors who are following you, they'll say, "Oh no, no, you're really talented. It's just gonna be a bit hard sometimes, but you'll do all right. You'll get something. You just got to keep at it." And they'll say, "You never know. You'll never know who's listening to you, so always keep at it." And it just makes you feel good about yourself because you feel I've got as much a chance as anybody, so they've probably been dismissed as much as I have, and it just really gives you a lot to consider, honestly.
Agreed.
Oh, what was here we go. I nearly lost my list there. um, when you go for auditions, though, what are the red flags that you look out for or notice that make you think this isn't worth it?
Yeah. As somebody who also just recently started casting for stuff, I because I could tap I now am starting to feel the because I don't really put like deadlines or unless if it's like a really specific deadline that I mean, I don't really like putting it on myself, but if a client just needs a specific sound for what they're looking for, the first thing that can kind of turn me not turn me off, but more turn me away from an audition, it's um long introductions, um and I mean audio quality is definitely I mean, it's a no-brainer. So definitely make sure that it's up to stuff. People not following instructions, like say if they want an audition to be like either MP3 or WAV, if they send me a phone audition, which if you with that, I will say this. Um if there's if there's a circumstance or a situation where you absolutely are not don't have access to a studio, or if something happens and you just have to record on a phone, like just as a because due to crunch reasons, because a lot of us, most actors have really insane schedules,
Mm.
so they have to improvise something, and yeah, just so something like that, I may let it slide, but if there's like constant like background, I just can't consider it. Oh, and also, and this has happened a few times. I mean, I did mention AI, so that's
Yeah.
definitely absolutely 100% a no-go. Um, and I don't know. Like somebody sends an audition and then they have like this he sent like this, I don't know, a message of like, I don't know, just showing off in a way, like kind of, sort of. Oh, I hope you like this audition. I think this is the best. No, that's also immediate. Like,
Mm.
I just wanted to listen to your stuff and not to hear somebody say like, "Oh, it's gonna be the best one that you've ever listened to." Um, I don't know. So just being really arrogant or just this is there's often this quote that is said, leave your ego at the door or just leave your baggage at the door, something along the lines. But yeah, um if somebody is sending an audition, make sure that what you're putting out there best represents what you can bring to the character, not what somebody else can, and don't copy another performance. And this is why I encourage anyone that is auditioning on CCC, do not listen to other submissions until after you send your own audition.
Mm,
Because that imposter syndrome, it is gonna sink in big time. Focus on what you can bring to the table. Don't copy somebody else, and just keep your introduction short. Like if you're gonna be slating, because some of them end up going on for more than 30 seconds, and I'm like, okay, no, I can't do over 10. Okay, I'm sorry, no. Um, so that's just me though.
I
'Cause our
th-
attention spans are really, 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 really like, it's
yeah.
not that, "Oh, we don't wanna listen," but we just got, like, over 1,000 submissions we gotta listen to just for one character. Time and I hate to say it, but sometimes time really is money when it comes to big, large scale projects.
Mm,
So you the last thing you want to do is waste the casting producers. You definitely do not want to waste time and energy. That's the last thing that you want because you definitely don't want to be that somebody that ends up getting on like, I don't know if I want to listen to their submissions for the foreseeable future. And you don't want to do something that's gonna like be like, "Oh, yeah, I remember you," but not in a good way.
mm,
So, make sure that yeah, a lot of this stuff I know I sound like I'm really condescending, but trust me, those little mistakes is something that we all need to learn sooner or later. We all have to learn the hard way. But yeah, just those main things alone are some of the stuff that kinda turns me away from an audition.
mm.
I know everybody's different, but those are my that's my, know,
Yeah.
spiel
There's
on
two
that
there's two other
topic.
things that absolutely turned me away. The first one is ending the deadline early rather than the one that they've set.
Yep. Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
and the other
Early
one
deadlines.
would be putting the character description and everything, but not leaving any audition lines and just say what you think would fit. It's like, no, no, I don't want to do that. if
Yeah, say
you
something you
if
think would fit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like if it's
I mean, you
your
can
if
improv,
it's
but
your
don't
character,
yeah.
give us something to work with.
I mean, you can improv, but don't, like, just don't make it your own thing, because that's kinda disrespectful to the not only to the director, but also to the writer who's they
Mm.
spend a lot of time putting these together. So don't feel like you're trying to rewrite the character because that is also an immediate like I don't think I want to work with this person. That type of attitude.
Oh, definitely. You've always got to be
Mhm.
you got to be nice to your actors, and the actors will be nice to you. And plus, as well,
Yeah.
if you show your
So once
niceness, no matter what you're doing on social media, anywhere, and you show the best side of yourself, that grabs people's
oh
attention more.
don't get me started with the social media etiquette stuff. So long story short, TLDR, just just don't be a jerk. Leave your ego at the door and just be nice.
Yeah,
Be a decent person,
it's not hard to be nice.
please.
It's one of the easiest things you can do.
Exactly.
When you do voice acting, what do you find is the most challenging part of that?
Would give the cop out answer and say, finding the motivation or the time or energy to do it, but that's kind of, cliche. What I will say is the most challenging thing, it's um because a lot of the work that we do, it's not that finding jobs are difficult. It's okay, how long am I gonna sustain it? Because I know with a lot of work that we do, because sometimes we could be replaced or without warning sometimes, and it can be really difficult to be like, okay, so I know that I'm working in on this gig and this gig, but it's not always a guarantee that it's going to be a long-term thing. So that's why people, we gotta just practice being grateful, the art of gratitude. and not taking it personally when somebody is like, okay, I don't think this is working out. We're gonna have to go in a different direction. It happens
Mm,
because sometimes actors, like, we can put our best foot forward, but then a lot of the times, it's like what I was saying earlier, sometimes we're just not always the right fit for everything. And I know it can be really hard to not let it get to us. And we are really sensitive people. Like we're human. Like a lot of the stuff that we do, it can be really hard and challenging. So that's why I always say to people, like, we just gotta we really do need to swallow our pride and have to, like, look, I know this might not be for us, but I know that there's always that one other project that is just gonna be absolutely just perfect. So, not even perfect, but it's probably something that's gonna be, if a door closes, another one opens.
mm,
That's something that we have to take into account because everybody is looking for that one person that is right for the job. It may not be for you, but I know there's definitely something later on down the line that might be, you know what? I think this works out a lot better. So we cannot, like, fall into despair or like, oh, woe is me. Why? I'm never gonna work in this town again. Like it's not gonna be like that. It's gonna be like, okay, well, that was a learning experience. So yeah, I guess it's probably mm, might need to. I've learned from this, and we'll just have to roll your dice and throw something at a wall and see what sticks. If it
yeah.
sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't, yeah, yeah, but like sometimes it's hard. Like it can be a double-edged sword. Like working in voice acting can be fine, but it can also be like, oh man, there's just gonna be days where you kind of just feel so slumped or stuck, and you're just trying to figure out, like, get all your ducks together in a row. But a lot of the times it could be just, if you want to get away from like reality, this is kind of like a place where if you want to channel all your emotions into this little teeny little old mic. So that's something that I really do appreciate about it the most. The challenging thing is being consistent with it
Mm,
because it is a very much is like, it is a very how can I put this? It's a very physical, really sometimes almost taxing just thing to do because a lot of the roles that you're doing, they are they require a lot of energy. And then if you're doing like promos or narrations and audiobooks, it is a lot of talking. So that's something that you have to that is can be really tricky to sustain. Like if you're doing like those long-term, you know, projects, like if you're narrating something or if you're just going off the walls crazy on a character, like it could be really just physically exhausting, but once again, I cannot trade it for anything else. It is just absolutely just a very freaking fun thing that I'm doing every single day.
yeah.
And that's something that I'm really the most grateful for. No matter how if some days are hard, I'm just wake up and just be like, "Man, I just can't believe I'm still doing this."
Yeah.
Seriously.
Especially as time goes on and you get more work, more people notice you, and you just keep pushing forward. And you just, every time you do it, you think, how far have I come now? How much further could I go? And it just feels like you've filled a void that wasn't there somehow.
Yeah. Especially when you get pardon me for saying this, especially when age starts to set in and and then your whole output and out view of the world is a lot more different than it was 5 years, 10 years, like years on down the line.
Mm,
So, especially as we start getting older and we, start facing other challenges outside of our control. Those are always fun, but hey, such is life.
yeah. You have to play. If although as you age, you do find it a little easier to play older characters as you age.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've done my old lady voices and that, and some of the casting directors have said, "Oh, it does sound really believable." But I think that's just because I'm tired anyway, so I just sound like an old lady. Uh,
Isn't that yeah, playing elderly characters, those are pretty nice. They're a lot I mean, they're like a lot of people think that they're easy to do, but they're really not, but it's just fun just pulling it out of nowhere just for the giggles.
oh,
'Cause come on,
definitely.
we've all done it at some point.
Yeah,
In my
absolutely.
old age, yeah.
You can do the stereotypical elderly person or the actual believable elderly person voice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think any age you could do the stereotypical old back in my day sort of voice. That's easy for anyone. Even I've seen kids do that sort of voice and laugh about it. It's great. But the believable ones, you either have to be in that perfect age or actually able to pull it off if you're a younger person. And very, you can do it. I think anyone can do it really
Yeah.
if you really focus and really understand the difference between realism and cartoony, which is honestly is not that hard. I think anybody could do it really. And
Yeah. And sometimes you have to learn your own weaknesses, which is also very important.
oh, definitely. Oh, well, oh yeah, there it is. Sorry, I keep losing my place when I'm reading the questions here and I'm losing my place. Happens a lot. My eyes go all over the place. I think you did mention this a bit earlier on, but you mentioned Sean Chiplock and Kira Buckland as inspirations. Were there any other voice actors who inspired you?
Mel Blanc, I
Mm.
mean, that's sort of the obvious one, especially if you grew up watching a lot of cartoons and animation, then chances are you've probably definitely heard of Mel. I mean, Looney Tunes, the guy pretty much now I will share a story that not a lot of people I mean, I know that this story kind of is passed around very often, like sort of in a lot of circles, but it's not really discussed about as frequently as to why Mel was a game changer for the industry because he had to fight for screen credit.
Mm.
So because with a lot of voice actors, I mean, it kind of goes back into like the days of Walt Disney where, you have the seven dwarves and they're these real characters, but the actress for Snow White was not credited. So that missed out on a lot of work for her and it was really kind of sad, but I understand why because he didn't want to break the illusion of like, oh, these characters are real, like these are the dwarves, they're not voiced by anybody. And then later on down the line, people like Mel had to fight like, no, if people want to know who brought these characters to life, like we should be able to be provided credit. So next time, if people are like, "Oh, voice characterizations, Mel Blanc, did he voice every single one of them?" Well, not all the characters, but he kind of was responsible for the grand majority of them.
Mm.
So if next time if people watch a movie, um, it could just be like, "Oh, okay, so this character was da 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 da. Let me put in contact with the agents," or that gives them more publicity in a way. So Mel had to fight for that, and alongside a lot of other voiceover talent that kind of were one man or two man shows because
Yeah.
there was Dawes Butler, Don Messick for the Hanna-Barbera stuff, and I just really love people like Frank Welker, Jim Cummings, Tom Kenny, Rob Paulson, and
Yes.
like listing the Mount Rushmore of actors and actresses. I know I said Kira Buckland, Gray Delisle is up there as well, Tress
Mm.
McNeil, Nancy Cart. Like a lot of the people that I've listed are not just insanely just superbly talented, but also just some of the sweetest and the nicest folks. Like, um, with Rob Paulson in particular, like, I remember finally meeting him and Tom, like, at a convention last year, and these guys could not have been any nicer. With Rob sharing his story about his throat cancer battle and still out there, just turned 70 this month, which is crazy.
Wow.
So yeah, I know. And he is just absolutely so sweet, just always really giving to the fans. And And that's another thing too. Like a lot of these actors have been in a lot of really high profile stuff, but they're just absolutely sweet to just, not just, and it's also with their reputation, just being great for people, to the people that they work with, and also just being so nice, warm, and just so kind to those that they meet. Even when they're exhausted, they just always seem to put their 100 in whatever that they're doing, and just never letting just it all go to their heads. Now, granted, there have been some actors that have done some stuff, but those bad apples are just very, very, very few. And plus, word spreads around quickly. So you definitely want to be that guy that is like, okay, has a good reputation, very easy to work with, and also just being so freaking nice,
Mm.
which is it should go without saying, but that's why I just really love these guys so much. And I mean the people that I work with too, way too many to name and mention, people that I've had on my show that it's just too long a list to even mention. So if somebody listens to this and they're like, "Why didn't you mention me?" I'm sorry. Like I've been doing this for years on end, and if I start listing off some names, I'm probably gonna leave out somebody, and I'm probably I mean, I know I'm probably gonna feel bad, but at the end of the day, it's like, look, I'm just gonna say everyone. Everybody that I talked to and worked with over the years has just been absolutely just incredible,
Mm.
just yeah. I would just say that. Trust me, I'm gonna say somebody and then I'm gonna start listing off on, you know, a big old list of folks that I've talked to over the years, and I don't want to drag this out too super long. But yeah, those are the people that I would want to say. I know I said Kira and Sean and all these guys, so it very much still applies here, and all the people that I mentioned. Um, okay, yeah, Paul Freeze. Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
And Frank and okay, yeah, pretty much a lot of the guys that did Hanna-Barbera and then just still working to this very day. I mean, Frank just turned 80, so yeah, Frank Welker.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm just really happy. Yeah, Peter Cullen. Like the Transformers cast is also really excellent. And the Glitch productions. So I think that's pretty much about all I can say for right about now. Once again, support indie artists, y'all.
Yeah, you never know where
Support.
it'll go.
Respect.
Hell yeah. So do you remember, can you tell everybody which characters you voiced and who's your personal favourite to voice so far?
Oh man, so far. Okay. Um oh yeah, before I answer this one, and I'll even say you for, asking me to do this and just I'm just gonna say, like, who inspires me? I would just say you.
Me?
Always the answer that I give whenever I'm doing any one of these interviews or whatever. I would just say it's the person that is interviewing me as well. So I gotta include them in here, just as another cop out answer.
Yeah. Oh. I like knowing that I can inspire people, but I often don't see it myself. But no, thank you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've had you on my show in the past, so I figures it might as well just, I might as well just flip the tables and just, you know, do it as my little gratitude and thank you, my appreciation for you as well. Okay, so this question, I know I've played so many different characters in the past. I think one of my favorites was, hmm, ooh, there's already a couple that I'm thinking about. As for original characters, I did play a bully one time on this animation called Lugia and the Four Elements. I hope I'm getting the name right. It was a long while back. Um, but I know that you can still find the short on YouTube. I just have to go back and, how about this? So I'll just find the short and then once I remember, like, because I do know the animator's name, but it is just blank because it has been quite a while. So as soon as I find the short, I'll just link it in your video description so you could just add it on later. How about that?
Yeah.
So that was one because I don't really play like a lot of bullies or villains. And I think let's see, what I did with that was like, kind of like I don't because I know it was something along the lines of like, "Yeah, yeah, hey nerd, how's it going?" Just kind of like one of those,
Mm.
you know, rough bully type of voices. So that was a lot of fun. Um, and I've kind of been expanding more on that because I just don't want to go with like the typical, yeah, just go with like the ones that you kind of often hear with like bully characters. So I kind of wanted to throw something like just offer like a little bit of like nuance, just throw in something that's kind of like, you know, it's a little out there, but also kind of fits, it kind of is a little bit funnier for the character, like you see in a lot of cases. Um, so that was one of them, and also another one that I did. Um, oh, okay. So I did think of another one. So, or no, actually, excuse me. Mm,
It's okay.
Um, yeah, as for like clients that I've been working with, so this animator named John Morris, I voiced a couple of his animations. I played this where I would just do like these nice guys or just play like an occasional like kind of weirdo. So I've been doing it a lot. I've been voicing in a lot of his stuff, and one short film that he did was it's a short that talks about like body positivity and I was really happy with like, you know, the whole message of the film. And I basically got to play this dude that it's just basically just me talking, but just like in a more sweeter type of, you know, hey, what's going on? Like, hey, you know, just kind of like the guy next door, like the supportive friend, which I really do appreciate. And once again, I'll find the video and just send it over so you can include it so people can listen to more of my work. Um, and actually, you know what? I think I actually do have a resume, so let me pull that up really quickly. But those two are ones that kind of come to my mind as of right now. And occasionally, if I do like you know, creatures, those are like always a lot of fun for me. Not
Mm.
very often, but I would love to do more of them in the future. So hit me up.
I'm like that. I've done so many roles now. I just look up my thing and said, "Who did I even voice?" I don't know. I've done so many. Oh,
Okay, it's the name of it is Big Inner Beauty by John Morris, and I voiced Noah in that one, and I can even provide like timestamps of when my characters show up. And I did another one with okay, I know I did a couple of characters for my friend Urena Rooney, who major shout out to you. I'm not sure if the videos are still going. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask her. But yeah, it's like these series of like Halloween style videos called Six Nights of Scares, and I played a few characters. Like I did like a demon once, Angela, and I also did like a Roger. I did a couple of different characters for her videos, so those are always a lot of fun to do. I'm still not 100% sure if she's doing any more of these, but I mean I would love to do like some more like a lot more characters where if I was just like a vampire or like a I don't know, a monster, just blah 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 blah, like just that, I would be happy. Um but speaking of Halloween, I was in an audio play and and they even had like a musical like they even had like a music segment in there, so I guess I could cross off like me being in a Halloween musical off my list.
oh,
It's like a Halloween audio drama where I played like this boogie man. It was basically me just combining like Courage the Cowardly Dog and an Edwin, like just kind of like making him cowardly because it's so easy to just make him scary. But what if I just make him like this scaredy little like make him like a little chicken, so to speak.
yeah.
So that was definitely a lot of fun. It's like this Halloween audio drama that I was also really proud of. And I'm so grateful to the Acorn Sam. Okay, let me look it up again because it has been a minute.
It's okay. We've all been there.
Okay, 'cause I know the name of the. Alrighty, because I know it was definitely yeah, Monsters Anonymous. So we had a song in there. So yeah, that was really yeah, that was a lot of fun. Mm.
I
And
like
I
to
have
think back on old projects that I've done sometimes as
yeah,
well.
Lagoon thing. Yeah, Gilman, that's who he was.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was from Redison Acorn Productions.
Oh.
Monsters Anonymous. It's a Halloween audio special. I'm pretty sure you can find it on Spotify and YouTube. Once again, links will be in the description once this is all out there. So that was one of the most fun characters I ever did because it's like, okay, let me be a monster, but let me just be a scaredy cat for a change. Because it's so easy to just be like, "Arr, I'm gonna blah 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 blah." But what if I just do one that is just like, Courage the Cowardly Dog? Like, you know what I mean?
Mm.
So that was a nice little change of pace that I did there.
Yeah, I'd love to do a
It
how.
isn't an example of like, okay, just go with something outside the box that might be even better than what the people in charge of the casting calls. Have it be a little better than what they're thinking of. It's like, you know what? I haven't thought of that, but this works so well. Let's do it. That
Oh,
is such a fun feeling. Yeah.
yeah, it absolutely is. Now I ask this to everyone here. For those who want to be voice actors, who don't know how to start, where to go, what to do, what advice would you give them?
If you're going to be a project coordinator, um definitely make sure um don't start a project without having like at least some amount of experience. Or if you want to get started on making a project or if you wanted to spearhead something, always make sure that your mental health and all this other stuff have a team of people to help you out. Like it is possible to be a one man band, but trust me, the burnout is gonna come a lot faster than you realize. Here I go again with the burnout thing. So definitely make sure that, um, yeah, if you're gonna take on something like of this magnitude, um, make sure that you have like a set schedule, not even a schedule, but always make sure that you plan it out accordingly because you may not, there's always some, and always be prepared for if something goes, if something goes awry. And money and finances are another thing too, which, oh boy, that is a whole can of worms altogether. And be sure that okay, if you're hiring an actor, make sure that because there's no telling like if something goes wrong because either somebody is sick or is not it's not available or if they've done something that is gonna cause for recasting, which had to do that, not fine. So if you're gonna do something like this, make sure that you're ready and try not to rush into this way too soon, which is kind of another thing that you got to keep in mind for voice acting as well. It's like it's not a it is pretty much a marathon. Like there is no end goal or destiny. So if you're gonna make like a list of I'm gonna do this, da, 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 then you're wondering what's next. Well, that's and you're just gonna be running around in circles because all the stuff that you've done now it's like oh shoot I'm here how because keeping the momentum is a lot harder than actually getting into the business. And
Mm.
you gotta make sure that you're doing this because you genuinely love it and not for fame, fortune, yeah, just any of that stuff. Have fun, have the tenacity, still be um and being incredibly active. It sounds easy. It might be like the basic thing to say, but it's so broad. Being active in doing any small thing every day, and just keep working on your craft. Get the training if you need to. I know it's also been said plenty of times before, but make a demo when you're really, really ready because bad demos do. I mean, I've heard this from Kari Walt, or it might have been from somebody else, but a bad demo is worse than no demo at all because that could close way more doors than open them. So don't make the mistake of doing a demo when you're very, very, very much brand new. I mean, you can, but at the end of the day, you definitely want your demo to just best represent who you are in this moment. And that goes for like social media, websites, your tool sets, all that stuff to best represent who you are as a person, as an actor, and what you can bring to the table. So those would be my two big things. I know in the past, people would say move to a city where, a lot of the work is at. And it is true to an extent, but now with COVID, like after 2020, people have been really blossoming at their home studios. And a lot of big projects have recorded, remotely. And I know that some studios are starting to make it a rule that, oh, you have to be there in person, which I mean, in some ways, I can kind of understand that because audio engineering and everything else behind the scenes is a lot of hard work. So give praise to your audio engineers because they are really the unsung heroes, like in the industry for real, for real. And my last bit of advice, take breaks if you need to, and don't forget, um, there's nobody stopping you than you, and you are your own boss, and have the best time that you possibly can because these days are short. It's a long journey ahead of you, and you know, nobody waved a checkered flag or nobody forced us to do this. We decided to do it because it's what gives us joy. It's what fills your cup. And if something else fills your cup, no, there's no problem on there's no problem in, just doing what it is that if it really fulfills you or if it something that you really absolutely love doing, go for it. Like nobody's really stopping you. You make your own decisions and just give it all
Yeah,
and
definitely.
just be there in the long run as long as you possibly can. Because once again, there's nobody stopping you than yourself.
Yeah.
That would be my final 2 cents on my own bit of advice to all the people out there on the interwebs.
Everybody paying attention, making notes.
Yeah,
Um,
pay attention, you students out there. I'm sounding like a straight up geometry, like a college professor
no matter how
scolding
experienced you
these
are, you
kids.
never stop learning. That's something important to remember
Yeah,
too.
you never stop learning every day, every single day,
Yeah.
without fail. Yeah,
So,
without question.
so when you mentioned doing other things, that actually leads me to my next question. What your hobbies are, what you do besides voice acting. What do you normally do every day when you're not in the booth?
Um, Agent Scream all day. I'm kidding. That's what I got this mic for. But no, that's not what I do. I mean, it would be nice, but no, like, I'm somebody that is like, okay, if I'm feeling this way, I just channel it into video games. I just exercise, like I was mentioning. And actually, as a matter of fact, I guess this is kind of like my little segue into self promo. I mean, it kind of pretty much is a self promo talk all day, but I'm gonna be at a convention, WonderCon. So if you want to see me Saturday and Sunday, I'll be there. Probably just lingering around, just going to conventions and being in outlets where it's a positive community and energy, and just where you're not afraid to just be yourself and just be with nerds that are into the same thing that you're at. And when I say that, I mean that in a loving way, just geeks and nerds and those that are really into pop culture, just being around environments that is really good for you. That's something that I like to do on the side. So yeah, WonderCon. If you, I don't know when this is going up, but as of the time of this recording, I will be there this weekend. So if you want to see me, like, or I don't know, I'm just gonna be all over the place. Just
It'll be up. This will be up
yeah,
this week, so
it'll
don't
be up
worry.
later. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
It,
yeah. So I'll just probably be lingering around, just walking around aimlessly, just not knowing what I'm actually gonna do until the day of.
so
Gotta
what?
love just gotta love those spontaneous type of, you know, plans and stuff like that.
So
You know what I mean?
WonderCon at the time of this recording will be on the 28th and 29th of March.
Well, it's on the 27th to the 29th. I'm gonna be
Ah,
there on the 20th and 29th. Yeah, Saturday and Sunday.
nice. So 27th, 28th, 29th. We've got a long weekend con. They're the best.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's why I'm just like, boy, I'm probably so I know that after this, I'm gonna be doing like some prepping up because I'm supposed to be like on vacation around that time, so this is kind of like perfect. So just preparing for a long weekend of just being around folks, just talking, and just walking around. I'm excited.
Yeah, they're the best times when you go to cons with your friends or even by yourself. Just chill
Even
out, do what you
family,
want to
yeah,
do. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
just chill. Yeah, who knows?
The last thing I want to ask you today, I've not asked any of the previous guests as of yet, but I will start from this one onwards. And I don't want to put anyone on the spot, but is there anything you want to ask me?
What is because you're from the UK,
Hmm.
how would you say that, being in London, because I'm always kind of fascinated with learning about like different cultures and countries. So, how would you say that being a voice actress in the UK has been like, I don't know if I've asked you this in the past, but being in the UK, how would you say that the culture differs very drastically to like America or just I don't know, just being a UK citizen or resident, how would you say that the lifestyle is, being a voice actress and human and because
Yeah.
that's always something that I've been wanting to know myself, if you don't mind me asking that.
Yeah, of course. First things first, though. I'm not in London. I live nowhere near it. It's a bigger country. We're a bigger country than we look. I'm way further north. Um,
No, I can imagine. Yeah, that's the
yeah,
same here in the US.
yeah.
Same with the USA. Yeah.
Well, I get the confusion though. Yeah. The culture, I think, in terms of voice acting, it's a bit more. I don't know. I don't think it's a ton different from what I can gather. It's more in the terms of you don't have to be in a studio if you cannot have access to one, especially after COVID happened. Um, but it's pretty much identical, rather than being too different. But for the British culture itself is very different. But with voice acting, I suppose the only difference is maybe it's maybe a little calmer, maybe a bit more slower paced sort of idea, but as of major differences, I really don't think there is. No, I think all voice acting, no matter where you are around the world, I think it is relatively similar in most aspects.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, another question. What is the story? Like, how did you get your name Shelly Kitten?
Well, originally, it manifested from just my online sort of nickname that I just came up with myself. Because Shelley is my name essentially, just like a shortened version of it, and Kitten is one of my favorite baby creatures in the world. That's kind of where the name came from originally. Um, but then it ended up creating its own sort of world. It became a character that, funnily enough, started out modelled in the game not not Sonic Frontiers, the other one where you could make your own character. Uh
Oh, Forces?
Sonic Forces, that's the one. Yeah, I made a character for that name in there, and it just made this pink cat with blonde hair, and from there it just ended up being I like her too much. I don't want her to just be based here. So I ended up redesigning her a bit, and then she became her own character, and I ended up making other characters with her. They had their own sort of little world and things like that, and then it ended up becoming a webcomic. So I kind of differed myself from that identity in order for the webcomic to thrive a little more on its own without my sort of connection to. Well, I do still have the connection to the character, but not as much. Like, she has her own identity, her own personality. In fact, part of her own personality is who I wish I could be. So it's not like entirely me, but she's based off of who I wish I could be. Like that, the confidence, the absolute silliness, and everything that she manifests is just fantasy of that could have been me if I was like that. But it all just built up into its own sort of story and its own world, and and it's there and everything. So it's online. You can read it on Newgrounds. It's got its own YouTube channel for the dubs, who I've got some voice actors for, and there you go. So it's Shelly Kitten, same name. That's the series name now. But there you go. That's pretty much it.
Cool. And thanks for sharing that because I've always wondered, like, is it really that much different in you? But then I realized, yeah, I mean, the difference is like, you don't have to go to a studio if you can't do it. But yeah, I know that it still is like this over here in the US, but I know that they do prefer in studio stuff that way to avoid like any of the other technical aspects and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what I would hear constantly. So I'm glad to know that we're kind of both on the same page here.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I will say it was an absolute pleasure talking to you and hearing all the things that you had to say, because at the end of the day, that's why I'm here. I'm here to listen to you. So thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, thank you once again for having me.
Absolutely no problem at all. All of I like the other episodes. All of his socials will be linked in the description. So if you want to go check out, if you want to check out Robert's work, it's all going to be there. His socials, his website, everything. It'll all be there. And if you ever want to hire him for stuff, you won't regret it. So go do it.
Thank you. And I will say regarding the social media, I'm probably gonna be sporadically active. Well, especially this week, as I'm gonna be, pretty busy. Of course, I'm gonna be at a convention, but yeah. But even with that, I'm not really like super duper active because like with this whole climate and everything, and just
Mm.
preserving mental health, energy. I just like to I just like to check in periodic spurts, if that makes sense. So I mean, I do use them, but just a quick heads up, I'm probably not like on it 24/7,
No,
which it
that's
goes without
absolutely
saying. So
that's absolutely
yeah,
fine. It's probably for the best that you're not on socials all the time,
it's
really.
bad. Yeah, not no. Like literally, I'm just only on it just to get stuff done, check in on friends, and then after that, just log off. Bro,
Yeah, same
at
really.
least I'm not.
I also use it to look for auditions too, because it's very good for auditions.
Same here. Yeah,
Absolutely. All right. Well,
leave it to me.
thanks again for joining. Best of luck with the future work, and it was an absolute pleasure talking to you. I know I keep saying that, but
Yep, likewise.
I'm just like that. I'm just too
No, I
polite.
mean, like, no, dude, like, it really is. The pleasure is, and hey, if we ever do another one in like, maybe in a future, like, like, just hit me up anytime or just hit up any of your previous guests and let's just keep the energy going.
Absolutely.
Say ye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one. You can say bye too. Bye.
Bye bye.